Welcome, everybody, to another exciting megacast. I don't know how many we had of these, but I know we have a lot. And this is going to be our season-ending 2023 year in review. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So everybody welcoming on my side is my special field correspondent, Shane Stadtmiller. He will be in momentarily. He's doing something for the Scholastic kids. But my people on my side, I'm going to introduce Mr. Ralph Williams. He's in charge of a lot of podcasts, and he has Sports Corner on Beaver County Radio. Ralph, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Bubba. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we're going to give our picks later on. I don't know. I think you did pretty good, but we're going to keep it flowing here. We're going to try to get under 45 to an hour. That's the bookie says. But also my special guest for the Triple B side. He's all across the way, 17 hours away, I believe. He's in charge of his own podcast. It is called Steelers Nation Australia. It is my pleasure to welcome to the mega cast once again, Mark from Steelers Australia. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? I just want to say I feel really, really bad for the 49ers. Really bad.
I don't. I'm okay.
No, I do. I feel bad for them. They've been in 11 Super Bowls and they've won 5 or something.
I don't feel bad for them either because I was right about everything.
You're always right, Ralph. I'm never right at all.
Not all the time. I mean,
so yeah. Okay. Now here we're going to split it off into the megacast. That's how we present it. It is the host of one of the hosts of the Steelers Realm podcast. He's the jack of all trades. He's the man that keeps the time under, hopefully not over. But here we go. JT, how you doing this evening?
Hey, Steeler Nation, Bubba, Mark, Ralph, good to be with you guys, man.
Great JT. All right.
Good to see you again. I'm pumped, even though, we had our ups and downs through the season. I couldn't think of a better panel to chat about it and lean our heads on each other's shoulders than this gang tonight, and including talking about triples, to bring in our triple amigos on the Steelers Realm podcast. First, my man, TA, the famous TA, in God knows what part of the country too, probably continental U.S., Mark, but TA, welcome, buddy. Good to see you again.
JT, thank you. And so far, guys, it doesn't matter where I'm at, but I'm going to need to get some boots tonight. I can already tell the shit is stacking up in here because I thought we were going to talk about Taylor Swift, not about the Steelers, man. What are we doing here? Now we're sad about the 49ers as well. What the hell is going on here? Did anybody bring tissues?
I got them in my bathroom. That's what I use them for. So, I don't know. I don't want to try.
You better bring in the other guy because I can already tell he's crying right now because he's not on the show already.
He is. Yeah. And hey, and just to say, Bubba, like you said, try to keep this gang to 45 minutes to an hour is challenging, including my man Freight Train bringing it to you like none other.
Hey, TA, glad you talked long enough to where you basically ruined my intro for me. But hey, Bubba, I'm glad to be back with you. JT, Ralphie Williams, how's it going, buddy? Hey, Mark, last time we were together, we had some boxing the kangaroo bet that we were supposed to do, but I conveniently forget about it, so we're going to act like it never happened.
As in you were boxing a kangaroo?
Yeah, we had some Steelers bet.
Yeah, I reckon you could do it. You could do it.
But you know what? I don't remember what it was, so we'll save it for next season.
Next time. We're going to find out on this show because I want to watch you box a kangaroo.
I'd like to see it too.
Yeah, Mark, can you really make this happen?
Illegally there, somewhere in the outback, get 2 of them. A couple of kangaroos, a few boxing gloves and a shotgun, you'd be right. See what happens.
That's what I'm talking about.
2 hits. Kangaroo hitting him, Freight Train hitting the ground.
So we just
I think I could get a couple in there.
We decided to do this after the Super Bowl. So now it's the end of everything for 2023.
Yeah.
Like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know we did some picks earlier on, and we will get into them momentarily and see how good we did. But this year, I'll start with you, JT. This year was quite a roller coaster ride. You agree?
No doubt. That's the words that I would use to explain that. And kind of fun hanging on at the end, man. That last little loop-de-doo we had there. That was kind of a fun ride. And change with change comes change. But yeah, I'm kind of liking where this team is heading. But yeah, looking back on the season, as we go through our picks, it'd be so interesting to see how off this team was from what we thought they were going to be.
Right.
Looking forward to jumping into it with you guys too. And by the way, I got the Taylor ticker tally going here too. So how many ever times we hear Taylor's name? Oh, there's another one.
Oh, geez. I won't say her name, so I'm okay. So Ralph, did you think this season was the way you called it, or the way it was scripted, or did you see something different in this 2023 season?
Well, I said 10-7 or 11-6, and they ended up being 10-7. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. They kind of got lucky. This whole season, guys, has been lucky than good, because the Steelers were not good this year. They just got lucky because other teams made mistakes. And if it wasn't for other teams making mistakes, the Steelers wouldn't have won half the games they won this year. And, and it's very sad that TJ Watt wasn't in the game for the playoffs. I think we would have had a better chance of winning. I like the fact that Mason Rudolph produced when he was out there. He takes command of the huddle. I wish the Steelers would do something with him and quit playing games with him. Now he said he's leaving, and good for him. I hope he goes somewhere and wins a Super Bowl.
Wow. Mark, your take from Australia. What is your think about this 2023 season?
I think overall I was probably way too hyped at the start, but I always am. It doesn't matter if we've got, it doesn't matter what quarterback or if we're not meant to win this and this. I'm always really hyped, but I think everyone was with the Omar Khan signings, and the 49ers took us back to earth. But I think that three stretch of losing those 3 games in a row to the Cardinals, Patriots, and the Colts sucked. But then we turned around with Rudolph. The only thing, the one big question, and I still think Kenny can turn around. But with Kenny Pickett, we don't really know too much from last year than we do this year going forward. So we will improve on the offensive line. We'll improve the running game with Arthur Smith. I think he'll provide some good quality coaching there from the Tennessee Titan days. But to me, it's like Kenny Pickett is in his 3rd year, and now we have to wait and see again. But Steelers, I don't know about you guys, but I hear this Fields talk, Wilson talk, but I don't see them doing a big splash play. I think they might bring back Rudolph if he does want to come back, and then he'll be 1 or 2. But they're still tying themselves to Kenny Pickett. But overall, the season was pretty fun. It's fun run game. It sucks that TJ went out in the last game and we could have had a chance to beat them. But at least we weren't the Browns getting shellacked 45-10, or the Cowboys getting shellacked 48 to whatever. Do you know what I mean? We gave it a chance. The Steelers are getting better, but we still need that one playoff win and maybe a home advantage, win the North. Because we won 5-1. But we couldn't win the other games that were Cardinals. The Patriots beat us. The Cardinals beat us. They're a better side with Murray back in there, running around crazy. Patriots beat us, and the Colts. That stuffed us up, and we had no momentum going into Buffalo. They had the snow game canceled, and then it was next minute Josh Allen carving us apart. So I'd say successful, but it still feels like 23 and 24 are tied together.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go down to TA with his knowledge on Steeler football. Craig, thanks for popping into the MegaCast. TA, what was your synapse of the 2023 season?
Well, as we already know, it didn't live up to expectations. There's, listening to you, Ralph, and saying we're lucky to make the playoffs 10-7. That is not what I seen at the beginning of the year. The way we breezed through through the preseason, the offense came out, it was clicking on all cylinders, and it was like we went into San Francisco, and next thing you know, we got smacked in the face. And it was like, are you kidding me? Where was this juggernaut offense? I think we all knew last year that Canada wasn't it, but we were all hoping, praying, you know what? Let's just see what he's going to do in year 2. Look, we've seen it. As far as keeping Mason Rudolph, look, I'm sorry. Put him on the first Santa sled the hell out of Dodge. I'm done talking about Mason Rudolph. I'm done with the love affair. We love him. We hate him. We want him. We don't want him. Get him the hell out of Dodge. As far as Kenny goes, this is it. This is make it or break it for him as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we hit a little bit of a rough patch here with Cardinals, Patriots, Colts. But at the end of it all, when you really look at what Tomlin did with this team and keeping it together, and everybody looks for him to keep losing his team, but yet his team is still always there fighting. My question is, and really, really want to know, what is it that he has to do to take this team to the next level? I'm hoping bringing in Arthur. He's not the drunk that you see from Arthur, but actually that physical guy that everybody talks about. And he puts a little bit of attitude back in this team. We started to see it at the end of the year. I'm looking to see what Khan and Waddell can do. And let's fucking rock and roll. There you go, buddy.
Ooh, knowledgeable. Freight Train, do you have anything to say to add to that or
how
more?
the hell am I supposed to follow all of that and put a bow
Shane's going to have to follow you here, so it's going to –
I mean, my take on the season was it might be the longest Steelers season that I've ever had to endure as a Steelers fan. You want to talk about ups and downs. We pieced the team together at the end to make a run to the playoffs. We get a little bit high, and then TJ goes out, and it brings us all the way back down. And then, the Buffalo game happens. But, to follow TA's lead, I liked the fight that the team showed at the end of the season. When in the middle of the season, it seemed like, okay, you can basically write off Deontay Johnson into the sunset because he doesn't seem like a team player. George Pickens had his issues. The running game just didn't seem to have it. And then all of a sudden, they basically found it and carried us to the end of the season. I like the camaraderie that they showed at the end of the season to carry in the next season. And hopefully, by the grace of God, we can figure out something with the quarterback situation. Me personally, I don't think Kenny's the issue. I wouldn't even be mad if they moved on from him right now. I don't think Mason's the issue. I think our quarterback is in the trade market right now that I'd like to see. I mean, I really like him to make a run at Kirk Cousins, but we know that's not going to happen.
It's too much money.
But you had to have a level of consistency. You look at the teams in the Super Bowl. One thing they had in common. Actually, the majority of the successful teams in the playoffs had one thing in common. They had consistency at the quarterback position, which this team does not have. You cannot win in the NFL if you do not have consistency at the quarterback position.
Okay. Shane, what was your
I don't know how to follow up to all that, but I'm going to tell you this. I was very optimistic, like you guys were saying, beginning of the season after those preseason games. I don't usually get spun up on preseason games, but I was beyond excited. And we thought that they were going to put together the paint by numbers. We thought Tomlin and Canada might have had, the outline of a good season ahead. And then 49ers, like you said, smacked them in the mouth. And we went from paint by numbers to coloring with crayons, and Tomlin ate the crayons. And, by the time we figured out what was going on, they slipped into the playoffs. I think it would have been better off if they just would have been terrible the whole season, had a better draft pick, because there are more questions than answers going into this offseason. And this offseason is just horrible for me. I just don't know what to expect in August. I'm not optimistic. I think next year's going to be even worse. That's all I have to say.
Wow. Okay. Because I always think it's half filled, because I'm like TA in the preseason, I thought, man, we were juggernauts. 49ers smashed us in the mouth. Losing to the Patriots still sits in my craw. But also, too, I'm like Mark. I like to be positive sometimes and energetic, and I'm waiting for this offseason. It was a roller coaster ride, and I'm always wanting to see the old Steelers come back where people actually fear us, because they do not right now. So hopefully this offseason in 2024, they start fearing us like they used to. So, JT, I'm going to hand the baton of justice over to you and let you do what you need to do.
No sweat. You know what? Am I mistaken, or did the offensive line remain healthy all season long?
You're absolutely right. It was stank.
Yeah,
They were healthy, but they weren't very good.
No. but you think they pulled something together? Or do you think that was like an emotional uplift? It's kind of theme, I keep ringing around in my head is change, and we're seeing it, and I'm kind of liking it. TA, I think you quoted, I like what I'm seeing so far with some of the off-season stuff. But, yeah, there were certainly some problems mid-season, and losing TJ Watt, it was just a sign of the times. Mark it touched on the fact that, in most of our division games, they all turned into the Browns, except the Browns one time. So, yeah, their mistakes led to our, eke by wins. And, coming off that preseason, we were down there, Friday Night Lights, Bubba. What we saw, I thought, and just to give Mason a little plug, I thought from what I saw in the preseason, Mason looked awesome. I thought he should have been number 2 at least behind Kenny. But, speaking of Pickett, I don't know. I don't know how much is enough to see. Or is it the system? Is it the man? We're going to find out this year. It's make it or break it time for Kenny Pickett.
Well, also, guys, we got rid of the ugly, and the ugly was Matt Canada. So having Matt Canada, fired, which has never been happening in any type of season in Steelers history. We've never fired an offensive or defensive, any type of coach in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So that was historic. So let me give you your take on that, JT, real quick, about the lovely firing of Matt Canada, which we know hopefully we never have to say his goddamn name ever again.
Well, it sparked an immediate win. I think that was a Cincinnati game, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kenny looked really good, racked up a tiny yardage. What, he got 13 points or something like that? I don't know, but it looked like, okay, change is change, but then they kind of fell back into, dumbass mode again. But again, coming back, a change at quarterback, moved to number 3 when we knew Mitch just shit the bed once again, like he always has. He's never became the guy we thought he could, but I couldn't tell you, like Steelers realm guys were all pulling for him when they signed him.
I was too.
The Steelers are making change, man. They just cut dead weight. Mitch gone. Chuke's gone. Your favorite punter.
Get the hell out of here.
Bye-bye.
You get a punter. We don't want him.
They probably booted him out the door farther than he boots a ball.
Farther than his average. What was he? 29th in the league.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Fuck him.
So Ralph, what's your take on the Steelers historically firing somebody in the midway through the season? I'll ask all you guys to get your take on all this.
Well, the shameful part about all this, everybody, is the fact that it took Art Rooney II to go down and bang on Tomlin's door. Art Rooney II shouldn't have to do that. Mike Tomlin should have, fired him immediately or whatever. He shouldn't even made it through this season. Okay,
should never have started the season.
Right? Exactly, JT. Exactly, and it was very shameful. Just like the time when Joey Porter did what he did in the South Side, and Mike Tomlin didn't want to fire him. Do you know Art Rooney II again had to go down and knock on his door and say, "I want him out of here." So I mean, that should not have to happen. And I think that Art II gives Mike Tomlin too much leeway to do whatever he wants in some cases. But I think now the leash has been the leash is back on. I think he's the leash has gotten a little bit. He doesn't have a leash. I mean, it's getting smaller. Okay, as JT
he's got a choker. Yeah, he's got a choker collar on now.
Exactly, because I think now Art II is finally waking up, which I can't believe he got out of that spell. As far as Kenny Pickett goes, let me say this. Okay, they only drafted him in the first round because they didn't want to hear from Pitt fans if he went somewhere else and was good. Okay,
Dan Marino too.
The Dan Marino thing, number 2, exactly. So now the Steelers never want to admit they're wrong, so now they got to eat it. And so therefore, what they're going to do is they're going to eat it, but they're going to endorse Kenny Pickett. They're going to keep him up because he's a first-round pick. I think his leash is small, or I think he's on a tight leash this year as well. Arthur Smith's not going to put up with this, and so we'll see where it goes. I was happy when they hired him. I said they were going to hire him because there was nobody else that would actually take the job here in Pittsburgh, but Arthur Smith would, and I knew he was going to get hired. I predicted that one, so I'm glad that they did hire him because he's going to bring in, like JT said, and And TA said the tough football. They got to bring back the tough football and being tough and going out there, controlling the lines of scrimmage, and that's what has to be done.
Okay. Mark, what's your take on the firing of a coach in midway through the season and, the quarterback controversy of having Kenny behind center?
Yeah, well, you guys are right. They probably shouldn't have started Canada at the beginning, right? He got way too many games than he should have had, and it's been super tough and almost frustrating to watch the offense go like that, right? But I did see a stat somewhere on a tweet, I think last year, that the last time a coach had been fired or walked away was one of the owners back in the day, in 1940 or something, walked away, just left part of the Roonies or whatever. And then since then, Matt Canada was the first one, so we never changed. But they were almost forced to do so. That was after the Browns game, right? We were going down the field and Trubisky. Yep. And yes, it falls on Tomlin, it falls on the organization, it falls on everyone else. But you're like, the Canada offense overall sucked. Like, I could show that to a fan who's been watching a year or two and go, why would you do a shovel pass to Gentry here or a jet sweep at this point? You're like, it made no sense. So I know guys are giving flack to Smith because he had a bad record with the Falcons and whatnot. I don't see that. I see a guy who's a head coach. I see a guy who got, Derrick Henry to 2,000 yards and a lot of different stats for in being number one offense and going to the playoffs, and he's got experience. And yes, they've cut now, I think, coaches' contracts expired, and they've got 3 or 4 new coaches on the offense, So things are moving, things are changing different parts. I know a lot of people want to fire Tomlin here and there, but I think they're in a point where you hear the rumors of all the trades. I don't see that because you guys are right in saying that Kenny Pickett is the guy because they're kind of stuck with him. Whether you like him or hate him or dislike him, if they go and get someone else, they're going to push him aside, and that means that that's a failure. Do you know what I mean? And the Steelers won't want to do that. They want to try and ride with him as best they can to make him successful because he's the number 1 overall pick in his 3rd year. So I think they'll find a quarterback number 2. They'll probably do the fake quarterback competition, and then Kenny will win. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I got some people in the Facebook chat. Chris Anderson said hello, everybody. He also said he loved to see Arthur Smith from Tennessee as the offensive coordinator, and he needs to bring back Steelers football and get in their faces, and maybe it'll rub off on Tomlin. And he also said Matt Canada was a poster child for anything unacceptable in offensive coordinator in the NFL. So, TA, what is your take on firing a quarterback in midseason, and it had its effects on Kenny because we never got to see the true Kenny because he got hurt too, but we never got to see the true Kenny with a different coordinator?
Well, first of all, as I was watching the Super Bowl, the one thing that they kept saying was, you're looking at Shanahan and it's like, oh my God, look at the misdirection. Oh, he's such a master of this. He's got these guys going this way and then the play's going this way. We heard that for 2 years that this was Canada's specialty. And I don't know if we've ever seen it. I've seen jet sweep run many of time on Friday night underneath the lights, high school football. And by God, it works pretty good with mature, snot-licking teenage boys. NFL players, absolutely not. There's no reason for that in there unless it's used as a trickery play, not as your main stable. As far as firing them, let's put this into context too. 1941 was when we let our last coach go. And just so we know, that was in the middle of World War II. And it was Burt Bell who fired himself. And that was in between the Steelers and the Steagles and the Eagles. And Burt Bell went on to become the commissioner of the NFL. I can tell you right now, as I'm sitting here alive and today and well, Matt Canada will not become the commissioner of the NFL. Matter of fact, Matt Canada will be lucky if he gets a high school gig after what he put on the field this year. Now, so was I elated? Absolutely, I was elated. I feel bad that the man had to embarrass himself and his family, but you know what? We live to have another day. Take it away, boys.
Freight train. I was going to give it to Shane, but I figured you can add more to that. So, what was your take?
Obviously, I agree with everybody on the panel that this should have happened way sooner than it did, right? I'm with everybody else and thinking that he shouldn't have even came in this season. He should have been fired before training camp even started, and should have brought in somebody more qualified. But the one thing that I had to hold against Matt Canada is I honestly think he has a lot to do with what we have with Kenny Pickett. I mean, he didn't groom Kenny into being a quarterback. He groomed him into being some sort of hero at the end of football games. That's not going to win a lot of games in the NFL. If you're playing hero ball, you're going to get what you get, okay? And the other thing that I have with this coaching staff is when you look at the success that Mike Tomlin has had and Arthur Smith, it's been with a veteran quarterback. Neither one of them have groomed a young quarterback in their careers whatsoever. With Arthur Smith's success, he had Ryan Tannehill, who was a veteran quarterback. Obviously, Roethlisberger with Mike Tomlin. That's why I think it's in Kenny's head that he can't play in this league. You know what I mean? Like, you can see it in his play. He's scared to be in the pocket. He's escaping. He's making bad decisions. He's used to throwing it sideline to sideline. He doesn't use the middle of the field. Now we'll see. Maybe that had a little bit to do with the Canada offense. But to me, Kenny looked gun shy when he was in here. And then you bring in a guy like Mason Rudolph. What did we see? He attacked the middle of the field, and the offense took off. That's why I really think that they should really consider bringing a veteran quarterback in to play with these young weapons that we have on offense.
Okay, Shane, finish up the coach of firing of Matt Canada, and then JT is going to ask that question and that freight train just put out there. So
I'm just gonna talk about the fact that Kenny was given a raw deal. The fact that Canada stayed around as long as he did, kind of the stank kind of pushed on to poor old Kenny. What's he? My kid's pointing at something while we're going. So raccoon in a road. Yeah, thanks.
Don't hit a deer. Don't hit a deer.
So Kenny got a raw deal. He did look like he was hesitant with his passes. He didn't really have a lot of protection. He got smacked in the mouth a few times. But Mason Rudolph did come in, had a nice quick release. The offense starts zinging, and next year I would say bring old Mason back if they can. But they do need a veteran in there. They need someone, and there's so many pieces of the puzzle that are just missing. So it's really hard to shit all over Kenny Pickett. But I find myself just blaming him too, along with Matt Canada. But that's all I have to say.
I'm going out of turn here, but you got to understand that like the clock is ticking with the core that the Steelers have right now. Like TJ Watt's not getting any younger. Minka Fitzpatrick not getting any younger in those defense. The offense, Cam Hayward, exactly. Yeah. The offense has young playmakers. Eventually, they're going to be up for new contracts. We can't re-sign everybody. We have a good core at running back, two-headed monster. The time to win is now. You can't waste time trying to figure out what you have with Kenny Pickett. You can't waste time by bringing in another rookie quarterback to try to groom. You have to get a veteran quarterback to take advantage of what you have right now.
Go ahead, JT. Ask away, brother.
Well, hey, before I get into it, we were supposed to have a special guest tonight, and I was convinced he was going to be able to make it, but Coach Mark Malarkey, former coach, player for the Steelers, he said, "Here, I'll go ahead and share this comment." But anyhow, couldn't make it tonight. Kind of got a last minute thing. Here, we'll share it.
There we go.
There. Sorry for missing the podcast tonight, fellas. Have grandkids sporting events I can't miss. Just an FYI. I told Arthur I'd come out of retirement to join his staff, but no call back. The way of the NFL. So anyhow, looking forward to having Coach Malarkey back. I really was looking forward to getting his take on, working with Arthur Smith in the Tennessee Titans years that they were together there. But thanks for letting us know anyhow, and the opportunity, Coach. But yeah, we head into it with a lot of questions, like Shane said, and the main one now, change. Look at the coaching carousel, the assistant coaches, getting back to Kenny Pickett. He was kind of treated in a way, kind of like Mason Rudolph was, with the exception of getting the starting job. But the lack of support the guy had, and did Mason ever have a quarterbacks coach when he first came into the team? So I think Steelers after Ben, kind of mishandled some of their other quarterbacks. They didn't really have anybody ready to groom to take Ben's place. And they even extended Ben, I thought, for a year past where he should have just retired anyhow. But nonetheless, here we are again. And like a lot of you guys said, I think, there's Shane. Hey, buddy. We still need a veteran presence. And I guess the question with Mason is, does he want to put up with the shit anymore? He's been cucked enough, man,
Yeah.
So the question right here, that would be the question. And for me, I'll answer quickly. I'll answer quickly. Mason's not coming back because he's going to sign for more money.
No.
And we're going to have to get somebody, and it looks like it's going to be Tannehill because of how the offense is. I could be wrong. I'm not right about a lot of stuff. So go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, here's a name to throw out there. March is coming up. Free agency's coming up. Marcus Mariota. He played under Arthur Smith in Atlanta and in Tennessee. And he's an average. I mean, he's just he's a younger guy. He's still got speed. So, I mean, and he's a pretty smart quarterback. I wanted him here before Trubisky. I said Marcus Mariota. So, I mean, here's a guy that's been a pretty steady backup around the league. And you know what would be a real bonus, but I don't think it'll happen? Bring them both in here. Ryan Tannehill and Marcus Mariota. You have two veteran present quarterbacks, and then you can go work on a young quarterback. Get one in here and develop it. Like JT said, they dropped the ball after Roethlisberger retired. They never bothered to do anything. And let me ask you guys this question. How many NFL head coaches walk into a job where there's already a franchise quarterback sitting there? None, hardly. Tomlin walked into this job and Roethlisberger was sitting there, okay? And the sad part about this was he won 2 Super Bowls with Ben, but he could have won more if he wouldn't have been so stubborn with some of the things he was doing, Tomlin, as well. And the big offensive coordinator should have never fired Bruce Arians. They should have never messed around with that stuff. And then all of a sudden Tomlin decides to bring all his buddies in here, the yes men. And that's why he's failed. Because as Bill Cowher said, if you're not in this to go to Super Bowl, you shouldn't be in it. And that's a simple fact.
Okay. Mark, do you think we're going to get some veteran quarterback leadership? Because I'll just go right through the
the short answer, I'd probably say, like, I still wouldn't mind Rudolph coming back because I still find that story kind of intriguing where, most of the fan base absolutely hated his guts and then he starts winning and then love him.
Yeah.
I just think that's funny, So what the thing is, I have one point on this thing, and I've been trying to figure this out. If the Steelers go and get Rudolph, is there a true competition or not? Or is it like... Is it like, okay, we make it look like it is, then Kenny wins? That's my only real problem for Rudolph is he has put up with a lot. I think Shane said one of you guys said he's put up with a lot, right? If you bring him back, you've got to say he's number one. And then Kenny sits and then don't even say Kenny's a bad player. I'll just make him just have the excuse of like Tomlin says, okay, Kenny's sitting to learn. And then we forget about him for a minute and then Kenny comes back in the next season or the year after because he's still on the contract. That's what I would do if I were the Steelers. But if they bring back Rudolph, they're going to make this weird quarterback competition, who's better, who's not better. And then you don't have a true quarterback number one. And that's really our problem too. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to get like Fields or guys like that, but they could get Marcus Mariota. But same thing. Is the quarterback competition going to happen? Or is it like whoever comes in is number one? They got to figure that out. They got to choose a quarterback number one.
TA? I know you've been sitting here stewing. Just throw it out there, brother.
First of all, this whole Tannehill, Marcus Mariota, I mean, I get it. I see where everybody's trying to connect the dots and tie it all together. But yet we're talking about wanting to go to the Super Bowl, taking the next step, and we're bringing in 2 quarterbacks that played together that couldn't even get the team past the first round of playoffs. I don't want somebody's trash. All right, I just don't want somebody's trash. I'm tired of somebody's trash.
So who would
me something?
Who would you get? Who would you get?
Who's out there?
You know what? There's absolutely nobody out there. And if you really
Well, then
want to
there
know
you
who you want to know who I'd really go after, you ready for this, Ralph? Because I'm like I've told everybody on our show, by the time the draft comes, the Steelers will have all 22 free agents coming on their team as quarterback. That's where it's coming down to. But at the end of the day, we're not going to get Justin Fields, even though I'd like to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. But however, what may happen in a twist of fate, and I'd be okay to run this because that's what we're at right now. We don't have a quarterback. So why don't we just bring Desmond Ridder over from Atlanta and give that a shot up against Kenny?
Wow.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey,
Think about this. He's no different than
let's
Lamar
bring in the
Jackson.
quarterback that got Arthur Smith
He's
fired. That's a good idea.
different than Lamar Jackson. And you got to realize, too, what got Arthur fired, he had 3 years, same record. He only had how many years with this kid? 1 year, because he ran with Matty Ice first before he brought him in. So he didn't really have a chance to develop this kid either. Like you said, he hasn't had a chance. They didn't give him enough time.
No, they had him for 2 years.
Wow.
But he only got a year and a half. They didn't have enough time with him.
Oh, my.
So you want to throw something out
That's
there?
a hot take.
That is
There
out
you go.
Wow. Wow. So freight train, what do you think on that one? Or what veteran quarterback would you get if you had a chance to get him, or you're just gonna stay with Kenny and
Well, I'm sure as hell not, I'm not staying with Kenny. Everybody who knows me knows I am not a Kenny fan. I haven't been. I was with you, Bubba. If I had a closet door behind me when we drafted him, I'd have punched it off the hinges too. I honestly, I would call the Bears and see what the offer is first, and see what you have to give up. I mean, realistically, if they want a second or a third round pick, we kind of be silly not to take him, right? I mean, we have inconsistency at quarterback. Yeah, Justin Fields hasn't had the best time in Chicago. He's had some injury problems, but I still think he's young enough and he's better than Kenny Pickett, and he could come here and have some actual weapons, an actual run game to help him out. And I think he would actually have success here in Pittsburgh. And I'd call Chicago, see what they want for him, and go from there. I'm sold on getting Justin Fields. I've wanted him ever since he was at Ohio State. I think he's well worth the second or third round pick. I mean, what are we going to get in the second or third round pick?
We're going to get a center
than Justin Fields.
We're going to get a center or a tackle.
Freight train.
That's what we need.
But we can do that with our first round pick.
We need a center or a tackle.
First round. I'm saying
the
a
question
second
is,
or
though,
third round.
Will the Steelers do that? That's the
No.
question.
No.
Right.
I mean, probably not. But I mean, this
Yeah.
but this front office is different than previous front offices, though.
They should do that.
They don't
need
operate. Omar doesn't operate like how they
these
used
days
to.
haven't been all that great.
Ooh, this offseason is going to be crazy.
Marvin Noel.
So
it
Shane,
already is, man.
Yeah.
It's already heated up, Bubba.
That's what I'm saying.
Shane, what is your take here? Because then we'll get another question.
There you
Is
go.
that what it is?
Yeah.
So this is what the Steelers are going to buy, use to lure Russell Wilson into Pittsburgh, because he's owed $39 million.
Good talking to you, boys. I'm out.
No.
$39 million. He's getting paid.
No
he
way.
could go play for anybody. The Steelers could pick him up for freaking beads because he's getting paid, and that is a cheap. And the Steelers always go cheap. They're gonna, they're not gonna get Ryan Tannehill. They're not gonna get Justin Fields. I don't want Russell, but go out. Tomlin wants a mobile quarterback, and those are the three guys that might end up in black and gold. But that's all I gotta say.
Oh my!
You know,
go ahead.
What part of Russell is still mobile? I just got to ask this. Shane.
His mouth.
Yeah.
Is it mouth?
Yeah.
All right.
They think he is, but he's a cheap get.
No.
You see this every off season. Like Russell Wilson is this year's what was following year's Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
rumors. Like
here's
it was
another
never going to
one.
happen, but yet people just keep hanging their hat on that. Like
here's another one. I mean, it's not really that talked about because I don't know how available he would be. But say Chicago balks and they don't take Caleb Williams with that first pick, and he goes to Washington. Could Sam Howell possibly be on the block? I would take Sam Howell on the Steelers team. I mean,
Yeah,
talk about
quarterback, freight train. Exactly. I would take him as well. I wanted the Steelers to take
him. TA, would you take Sam Howell? That is the question on the board right now. If you have a chance.
I would.
Yeah.
Look, why wouldn't you take him? Why wouldn't you?
Guys, we'd have a better chance playing pick 'em sticks. You guys ever play that when you're a kid? You drop the stick.
I'm just saying.
You bounce the little ball, you pick up the jack, and you hope for a fucking winner. That's what we're talking about here.
Wow. I would think if they look to try to get Mason a little bit of money and have Kenny and Mason. Would you agree on that, TA?
Even though I think it's time for Mason to leave.
I think he's leaving.
And I do too.
But I do too.
Who's out there right now?
Yeah. If I was his agent, I would be on the phone and be like, what the hell are you thinking? You have no chance of winning that job next year. We can get a lot more money elsewhere. You know, he's not Mason in his head is telling himself, I'm fucking leaving. And his agent, I'm sure, is on the phone telling him, dude, pack your shit.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the chances of bringing Drew Lock out of retirement?
He's not even retired.
He still plays for Seattle.
In Seattle.
Yeah, he's in Seattle.
Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Luck. I'm thinking Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Well, this is a controversy.
Bring back some more AFC retired quarterbacks.
Well, Andrew Luck. It's the same thing.
We get Andy Dalton, but it seems like we're going to be talking about this all off season. I know. But I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. But I don't see him freight train. I don't see him making a trade for anybody because they do need a tackle and they do need a center bad. They need a center like right now, and what
they need to do in the first couple rounds, Bubba, is they need to go to the lines of scrimmage. They need to go to the offense and the defensive line is horrible. And Cam Hayward does all the work.
He's not getting any younger either, Ralph.
Yeah, exactly. DeMar Manuel stunk up the joint. Loudermilk stinks. So the defensive line, except Cam Hayward, I mean, Keanu Benton did okay. All right. Yeah. My man Armin Watts, who I said was going to make the team, he was good in the run stuffer, but that's it.
I didn't like Montavious Adams, but what
Adams
do I know?
Is terrible. Except for that one block kick he had. That was it. Whoop-de-doo. You know?
Hey,
go ahead, Shane.
Hey, Bubba, real quick. CBS has a mock draft with the Steelers taking Michael Penix Jr. as a quarterback in the first round with the 20th pick.
No way.
I've seen two mock drafts.
Pull it up on CBS.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We're taking a Mims kid from Georgia and two mock drafts I saw.
Yep. And I did that. Well, that or the center from West Virginia in the second round, and I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay with those two.
That'd be a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, JT Toss said there wasn't any good defensive lineman until the middle rounds, he told me when he was on my show last week. So.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, let's get to the stats of what we had, JT. So if you want to look at that, JT, and see how everybody did, and then Mark could put in his 2 cents and like, hey, I picked that team, or I picked the Steelers to win, or something like that. So, and I have it up too, so I can take a look at it.
Check. There we go. Okay.
You up?
Yep. All right. Let me go through what the record was. Bubba, you were first on the list here. You had us going 12-5.
Well, that wasn't the case.
I had 10-7. Shane had 10-7. Ralph was 12-5. TA went out there on a limb, 13-4.
God bless you, TA.
Train, 12-5, and Smoke had us going 9-8.
Okay,
interesting.
So Mark, what did you have real quick? What did you think the Steelers were going to be? I mean, you wasn't on our picks, but what did you think they were going to be last year?
I think I had 13-4. I was hoping that they win the division.
That's what I'm talking about.
You and TA. You and TA.
Yeah, I was so hyped from the Omar Khan stuff with all the draft, the picks and draft. I was so hyped up.
Yeah, we got sucked into that for sure, Mark. No doubt. Man.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it wouldn't have been for injuries, there could have been a little bit of difference in there too. Losing those linebackers hurt, man.
Well, losing to the Cardinals and the Patriots.
Well, yeah.
I mean, some of them weren't bad. Blake Martinez, we brought in a few other guys. They weren't too bad. I mean, they did okay. They did what they
Roberts
had to do.
stepped up too. Roberts really stepped up. He
Yes.
did like 110 tackles. He was good to
Yeah,
watch.
they
He was
He
fun.
did. He
Yes.
was playing hurt at the end too.
So was Eric Rowe stepped up too, the safety bloke. He played some physical football near the end
Yeah,
too.
that was a good
Yeah,
pickup.
that Michael Walker. Michael Walker
Yeah.
played well, played decent.
Well,
So,
my cousin's wife, Mr. Rowell, hopefully makes the team. But as I'm looking through this chart, guys, and boy, did we take a debacle against the Texans. Every single one of us took the Texans to lose. We took the Steelers to beat the Texans, and
Yes.
boy,
yeah, we all got marked on that
I
one.
mean, nobody knew how good CJ Stroud was going to be.
Mhm.
I mean, like me and TA watched him at Ohio State. Yeah, he was a good quarterback, but to be as good as he was as a rookie season, I mean, we thought Roethlisberger's season was mind blowing, and then this guy comes in and I mean, already looks like a superstar in his rookie season. Nobody saw that coming whatsoever.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
and actually, here's another game where we all picked at Cleveland, and we won that game November 19th. We won that game. No, wait.
No, we lost.
No, we lost that game.
We won
Wait,
the
we
one
lost.
at home, Bubba.
Yeah,
The
I'm already
game at that point.
I'm dyslexic. Yeah. So we all took the 19th. We all took the Steelers to beat Cleveland, and we lost. So those two games, all of us took Steelers to win, and we both everybody lost.
Well, the Browns just had their Super Bowl. They won all those awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
Don't
get
even
started
get
on
me
that,
started.
Ralph. We're trying to keep it under 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
All right, we're already at
What is
46.
it, Steve? We'll be here all night if we discuss this. Is that what it is? Hey,
Yeah.
I just did a 2-hour radio show, so I'm here. So, you know.
Yeah. So we also, everybody except Smoke picked us to beat San Francisco too, which was interesting. And we just got punched in the mouth in that one. But yeah, up next was the Cleveland game. Pretty much everybody except Freight Train picked us to win that game, which we did. So we pretty much nailed it on that one. At Raiders, that was kind of a split. Bubba had a win. I picked them to lose. I don't bet against. I bet against the Steelers, every West Coast team. But Shane also had them losing, and then Ralph, TA, and Freight Train, and Rich all had a win. The Cleveland game, or Raiders rather. So then, yeah, the Houston game, man. We all thought they were going to be so, and look at what he ended up doing this season too. But the middle of the season, let's see, what was next? The Ravens, the only game we played against Lamar, and let's see, Bubba, you picked that as a loss. Everybody else took a win on that win too, so it was nice.
John Harbaugh messes up in them games, JT. That's why I pick the Ravens all the time.
He always does, Ralph. He always hits the bed somehow or another.
Scored on fourth down all the time in the wrong time of the game. And then he has to eat it, and I love it.
Yeah. So, then after the Rams game, let's see, Rams. Then this game was a disappointment for me. The Jacksonville game was kind of a disappointment. I thought we had a chance at winning that one. Bubba picked that one as a loss. I took that as a win. Let's see who else here. Shane, Ralph picked that as a loss, and TA and Freight Train. TA picked that as a loss too. Freight Train a win, and Smoke a loss on that one. So, yeah, we were right on it with Green Bay. And then what really sticks out from this season, guys, to me was the fact that we went 5-1 in the division. Although, Mark, I'll give it to you is that our division foes they all turned into the Browns at some point in time in the game with stupid mistakes, costly penalties, whatever, at the last minute. So, I, like you, Mark, was riding high off the offseason, the preseason, even though I thought Mason Rudolph won the backup job. We all got fooled, JT. We certainly did, man. And so
we all got fooled.
It was great. that middle of the season letdown. I mean, we were at one point in time, we were looking like we had a chance at the division at one point before that debacle.
We lost to 3 rookie coaches.
3 rookie coaches.
Yes. We lost to Shane Stadtmiller, what's his face, Jonathan Gannon down there in Arizona, and then we lost to D'Amico Ryans down in Houston. The 3 rookie coaches.
And they made us all look stupid.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and the Colts game was just another shitty loss, you know?
Yes.
But a rebound.
Bubba's muted. Bubba, you know you're muted, buddy?
Oh, I do now. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
You're just having a custom fit.
Yeah. Well, every time I must bump it all the time. It happens once a show. But yeah, that 0-3 that cost us, because that would have been right there. Would have been 13 and that'd have been 13-4 right there.
Yeah, that'd have been the bye.
That'd have been 13-4. We'd have been the number 1 team in the AFC.
Yep.
Got to win those games. You can't get beat by those games. That just, you know.
You know, and early on too, we kind of thought we were winning those close games. You know, we've been there before. We were like, we're eking out these close games. And like, even though we're getting outscored, like our total points against was higher than our total points for, but yet we still had a winning record at that. It was crazy.
Well, sometimes, JT, you go to the well too often, and that was the well that we kept going to, was winning those close games. And sometimes it you end up eating it.
Can't score points in the red zone. Yeah, when you
just
get there.
like I said earlier in the show, you can't win consistently playing hero ball. It just it's not a formula to win.
Not every week. You can't do that every week.
No.
Yeah. And we got to start winning games when TJ doesn't play. That's something we need to do. And you know,
that's
I don't know how to solve that problem, but we need to do it.
Well, I think part of that, Ralph, comes from improving the linebacker crew as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, you have better linebacking in the middle. You're going to have more success around the ends too. But the guy needs help, man. You know.
Yes, he does.
And Highsmith kind of trailed off towards the end there a little bit.
Well, and we did see better linebacker play. They just started dropping like flies as the season progressed.
Holcomb and Keywan Alexander showed up. That's when it got better. And then Marcus Golden came in a few times and made some plays. Mark Robinson's a bum.
It was better better this year than last year when TJ went out, because Malik Reed's still bagging groceries at Bilo. So and then Herbig coming in, and I think he's going to be a force.
Miles Jack even came back and helped out.
I was just getting ready to say that. I think Miles Jack made his case. He should have been here from the beginning of the season.
Right.
Well,
and he should be back on the team next year as well.
The two people that took the Steelers to beat them in Seattle was Freight Train and Rich. Everybody else took them because playing in Seattle, we broke that streak. That was like 30 some years.
Yes.
And I figured that was going to happen.
Overpaid Geno Smith.
Yeah. And then the last game, we beat Baltimore.
Second string.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a win as a win. Jim
absolutely
took a loss. Shane took a loss. Ralph took a loss. TA took a loss, and Rich smoked. The only people was me and Freight Train took them as a win. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a roller coaster ride. And then
I should have predicted them to win in that game, because, like I said before, John Harbaugh always messes up against the Steelers. And then I didn't think they were going to win, because I thought Harbaugh was going to play all his starters and we were going to lose. And I didn't know he was going to play his backups, because if I know John Harbaugh, he's so greedy to beat the Steelers, he'd do anything.
Sure.
Right. Hey, I want to put out there, hey, Paul Atlas, Joseph, Brian Lamort, Barry Stump, thanks for tuning in on the Facebook site. And now we had the MVPs. I had TJ Watt, I believe TA, you had Harris, Shane had Donnell Washington, Ralph had TJ Watt, TA had the O-line, Freight Train had Kenny Pickett, and Rich had Najee as the MVP.
I said Presley Harvin.
No, I had Najee too, Bubba.
We now call him Shankopotamus. We don't call him Presley anymore. We call him Shankopotamus.
You had Harris, and Rich Smoke had Harris. And then the breakout Steelers of the year, I had Connor Hayward. You had Nick Herbig.
Yeah, man.
JT.
My man Nick.
Pickens was Shane. Washington was Ralph. Calvin
Yes.
Austin was TA, and then Freight Train had his boy Joey Porter Jr. and Rich had Pickens. So that
was
the
a good pick, Freight Train, because he did a good job this year.
Yeah.
Porter.
Hell of
He
a
did a
job.
really good job.
I think he's only going to get better going into year 2.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
I
is.
bro. He learned how to tackle in the flats there.
Yeah, well, he's a good
did a good
shutdown
job.
corner.
Mhm.
That's what we need.
Well,
Hey,
so now after the season, who do you guys think? Who do you think nailed the MVP? I think that's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got
TJ
screwed
Watt.
out.
And
He
so
got screwed.
for
26
breakout-
sacks. 26 sacks next year, and no
Uh,
games. 17 straight games, 26 sacks, and
And
there's
he
no
still
doubt.
won't win defensive player.
Well,
of the
then
year.
that's ridiculous. And then we're all going to go and strike. We're all going to go and pick it.
Because Miles Garrett will be better on a pro football focused stat and not
That's
an actual
terrible.
football
That's
stat.
terrible.
Yeah.
What
Rookie
a
of the year
joke.
for the Steelers, I think, should be the Joey Porter Jr. and Broderick Jones should share it.
Yeah, Joey Porter
Yeah,
Jr.
good
needs,
point,
to,
good
needs
point.
to date a pop star. We need some of that heat, you know?
There's a question real quick. Wait a minute.
What's her name? Spice. What's that Spice
Yeah.
girl?
What?
Spice Girls, yeah. Hey, I
Ice
seen them.
Spice.
How
Yeah.
old are you going to? Well, I'm pretty old, Larry.
I was
But,
gonna put that damn
I'm
Spice
52,
Girls.
Larry. 52, but 26.
Hey, Larry.
sacks. And Craig wanted to know about the Eagles going to Brazil and wrong
Yeah,
show. I love you, Craig, but the wrong show. It's a Steelers show. So get on Freight Train's NFL Banner Elite and ask him guys Thursday.
What did he want?
He wanted to know about the opinion about the Eagles going to Brazil. He wanted to ask Shane.
Nobody gives a shit about the Eagles on this
I
podcast.
know that. That's what I said. That's what I mean. He got to go on to NFL Elite.
Yeah. You're tuning in.
Yeah, this is all
Thursday.
Steelers stuff. All Steelers stuff. Like after we lost the playoffs, I could care less who wins the Super Bowl. I could care less. I'm all about the Steelers, and I know Rich Smoke doesn't like that, but I saw the Deadpool trailer and I was happy. So, well, guys, so we're looking forward to now. We're looking for free agency. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. And we're gonna go strong. We're
There's some
gonna
more
sign
dead
people.
wood that has to go in order for
Yeah.
this team. There's a lot of
Steel,
dead
what's
wood.
up? Well,
All right.
yeah. So, okay. Well, does anybody before we
Tell
get
you
out
what,
of here?
Ralph,
TA, go ahead.
Ralph, let's run around. Name one person, Ralph, or everybody, the whole thing. One dead weight that has to go. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
All right, I'll tell you who's a dead wood. Loudermilk. DeMarvin Llewell. I can name you a bunch.
Just one. Just go one. Go one.
All right, what name you want? DeMarvin Llewell.
Okay.
Who's going to be
Okay.
gone?
Okay.
Right.
Mark.
Robinson, the receiver. I think he's done.
Okay. TA. Since you come up with a question, who you got?
I don't know. I'm just wanting to hear what everybody else has
Oh,
to say.
you know,
I'll go
Play
next.
that
go
game.
ahead, Shane. Go ahead, Shane. Who you got?
Mason
Actually-
Rudolph.
Actually, I will say this. Mason Cole is who I think ought to go, Bubba.
I would see.
Yeah,
I think he needs to go. I mean, he needs to go. And then
Mason Cole,
Allen
yeah.
Robinson for the salary cap. He's going to go too. Freight Train. Who you taking?
I'm putting Patrick Peterson on blast.
Yeah,
I think
you know
I think
what?
he did his job with
but,
working
yeah.
with Joey on his rookie year, but I think it's time. He can go
Okay.
ahead and
They need
Right
some
off
younger,
into the
fresher
sunset.
safety meat. out there.
JT.
yeah.
JT. Who do you got?
Yeah, well, they dropped the biggest piece of dead meat right off the bat first. But I was going to say Robinson, just kind of never there. So yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
except for Mason. Not everybody, because I hope they sign
No,
him. but
I
I
do
don't
too,
like
but they're
Mason
going to drop
Cole
him.
either.
well,
Move him to guard or something. Some other. He can play other positions on the line, not just center. Mason Cole.
oh jeez. Oh my God.
I can get you the skinny on Mason Cole when he played in Tampa. I have friends down in Tampa.
Well, he didn't do very good as a Pittsburgh
Yeah,
Steeler.
yeah, we saw him in black and gold. So.
I can get you all the information you want about Mason Cole from the. From down
Oh,
there.
no.
No,
I thought he
no.
played better. I thought he played okay last year.
He
I don't
had
think- I
he
don't
had a
recall the
dramatic
number.
drop off. A dramatic drop off this year.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Most declined player
Yeah.
of the year.
I mean, he's got one of he's
I explained to you why
Oh.
James Daniels taps him. I explained that to you.
Well, Eric Steele said Mike Tomlin is the biggest dead weight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo. Woo. Well, anyway, on that note, holy heck. Hey, Shane, before we get out of here, I'm going to get everybody to give a plug because we're going to try to do it under, well, we're not doing it under an hour. It's over an hour.
We'll make it.
So the over. TA bet, and he probably went over and he won that big money. But I appreciate everybody for coming on today. But Shane, do you have anything you like to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm still on for the next 2 weeks at least. I'm on the Voice of College Football on Mondays and Thursdays, and then I'm going to do a show called Fan to Fan, same times, and it's going to be about Big 12 football, basketball. Call in and tell me what your favorite dress size is, and we'll talk about, summer dresses. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about.
Okay.
Hey,
Mark.
The Raiders hired Matt Canada to clean toilets.
Oh, Jesus. That's where he goes. Mark, do you have anything you like to promote? Because being in Australia, you got a lot of stuff going on.
I guess if you want to check me out on Steelers Nation Australia, I just cover Steelers talk and and also I cover Bengals being terrible. I still find that really funny that it's been 58 years they've never won one. And the Browns are pissing me off now too with the defensive thing, so they suck too. So yeah, my content is, and also the Ravens now suck too because they're all about Lamar, but Lamar can't win and they think they're the best. So yeah, come to my channel to talk pretty much Steelers and just shitting on all the division.
Well, if you guys haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, please do. I always share it on my social media. So if you guys are Steeler fans, it's nice to get a different perspective from somebody down under. And he's pro Steelers. He's giving Steeler content every day. So, that's awesome stuff. Ralph, before we get out of here, do you got anything you got to plug? I know you're a pretty busy guy.
Yeah, Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m., Beaver County Radio, Sports Corner Radio Show. Just got done doing it today. Wednesday night, I have my new show called Pittsburgh Sports Talk. We're off tomorrow because of Valentine's Day, but next week, Ray Fittipaldo from the Post-Gazette, we're going to talk Steelers off-season with him, and Smoking Jim and I. And then I have Friday, I have the External Bum Show. We're now on for an hour. We start at 11 a.m. Blog Talk Radio, 563-999-3740. And also I do 3 shows with Leo Haggerty from Tampa. We do a show on Saturday called Telling It Like It Is every Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. on social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. Plus, I have my own YouTube channel and my own website.
Wow,
Ralph, when do you sleep, dude?
Holy heck!
I don't sleep very well. You're right.
TA, do you have anything that you like to promote while we're on our way out?
Absolutely. Check me out on any of the 3 rivers in my banana hammock coming this spring.
He's black and gold banana hammock.
Oh my gosh,
that's good. That'd be a good show right there. That'd be great. Thank you, Craig, for tuning in. That's awesome. So
black and gold banana hammock.
Is it a chock full of nuts or what?
Oh,
you're gonna have to tune in to check it out.
These nuts.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Let me translate for Mark. It's a bungee smuggler, right?
Yeah. Bungee smuggler. You don't want to see that, mate. I wear board shorts. I don't wear that. That's too much.
Freight Train, do you have anything that you like to promote while we're
I do. So you can catch me and Rich Smoke on our brand new show called NFL Elite Banner. It'll be Thursday at 8 p.m. right before I head on with the Steelers Realm at 9 p.m. And I won't take the wind out of JT's sails about the Steelers Realm, but it'll be a good show this Thursday. We're going to go over some prop bets that I hit on the Elite Banner that everybody called me a jackass.
Congratulations.
And wow. It'll be a good show. So make sure you tune in at 8 p.m.
Wow. What time? 8 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, I'll do my stuff and then I'll let JT take us home. Hey, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to the Triple B Experience, please do. Tomorrow night is the Black and Gold Dynasty podcast show where I talk Steelers at 9 o'clock. I don't have any days off at all either. And also I do the Friday night, the Friday night pulp culture Triple B Experience at 9 o'clock. And I've been doing some big time interviews with some great people in the podcasting world. I got them done. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Today, I actually got to know how to do small small videos. So I'm learning technological. It takes me a while. It's from A to Z. So, but you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Going strong, and I'm gonna be busy every day as usual. So, thank you for your all support. And now I'm gonna hand it off to JT.
Bubba, you going TikTok on us, buddy?
Yeah, I'm already on TikTok. Yes, I'm TikTok. Yeah, I got everything. Yeah.
TA's Banana Hammock has a TikTok.
I wish. Well, you need to hook that up.
Along with a helicopter.
Well, guys, obviously you can catch us SteelersRealm.com. We're on all platforms. We'll be back next week, I believe. We'll chat with the boys too. We usually take a week off after the Super Bowl, and then come back every with the week's doings in Steeler Land every Thursday night at 9:00. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, and also we're out there on Instagram as well too, or anywhere you get your podcast too. Steelers Realm Podcast, and looking forward to it. Great night, guys. Good to be with you again. Talking our favorite subject, man.
We are going to do this again when we make our picks, right? We're going to do our picks again. Have everybody come back on and do our picks for the next year's season.
Yeah, well, definitely. That'll be our next Megacast, Bubba.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
JT, let me know what your schedule's like. I'd like you to come on my radio show one of these days.
I'd love to, buddy. Yeah, anytime.
I'm thinking we need to do the draft.
I can't. I'm going to the draft.
Oh, you're going?
Nice. I'm going.
To
Pittsburgh
Detroit?
Has a big thing. I'm going with Draft 412.
Yeah, and I'll be there too, Bubba.
Okay,
so
you're going to be. I'll hang out with you, Ralph. It's
you can hang out with me. I'll be there.
It's $100 ticket, or it's $200 tickets. They wanted to get me They wanted me to have a table, and it was going to be $1,000, and I couldn't swing that. But yeah, because I'm doing.
I don't sit at the table because I go down.
You're not Roman Reigns. I don't sit at the table either.
No, I sit up. If it's going to be at stage AE, I sit in the right spot I need to be.
Okay, so that's where I'll be. TA. It's a big thing. This draft, they do a big thing.
Oh,
so there's a lot of Steelers, and Ralph been there. A lot of Steelers in the house.
Year, yes.
So that's
and there's Steelers there. All the other dignitaries from the other radio stations are all there. So
So that doesn't mean we can't do the mega on Tuesday before the draft.
Oh, no. Okay. We can do it before.
I have Draft 412. They're one of my sponsors. They're gonna the whole gang's gonna be. I have a couple of their guys in the studio with me on my radio show, and then I got the rest of them by phone. So it's going to be
we'll do JT. We'll do something, JT. We'll do something, and then
we'll definitely talk about that. Also, want to get we got to hook up, do something live from Friday Night Live, Friday Night Lights again.
Yes,
or we would do a Steelers weekend, and we had all the gear set up to go live, do some live Facebook broadcasts and live podcasts right from training camp and Friday Night Lights.
Field, so I was good to go.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
I couldn't catch up to you, but me and the boy had fun. But yeah, looking forward to doing something with y'all.
We'll definitely do another Megacast for sure. I like doing these. So it's pro Steelers stuff. No other team. Well, nobody. No offense to Rich Smoke. That's why you don't see him today. I like Rich, but it's all Steelers. I don't want to hear about Philadelphia. I want to hear about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't want to hear about other teams.
Bubba, you know what? I got somebody from all 32 teams coming on my radio show. Spread out.
Well, you can spread that all out. I'm all good with the black and gold. That's all I'm good for. So, okay. Thanks, guys, again for all coming on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. JT, take us out.
All right, Steeler Nation, thanks for tuning in once again. All our guys out there. Careful in the hot tub, everyone. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
See ya.
Oh, mama, oh, mama, oh, mama, oh, mama.